go to Jalan, where the milk on honey flow. For the wise man who knock at your door, who Zion on your way, Zion on your way. Higher, 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 higher. Who is higher than her? Higher, 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 higher. Who is higher than her? In a Mount Zion, oh Zion, Mount Zion, and holy hand, holy hand, draw Rastafari. Rastaman, Rasta woman, away, Zion on your way. Oh yes, away, on dream your love. Far I want to go to Jalan, where the milk on honey flow. Oh, for the wise man who knock at your door, oh, Zion on your way, Zion on your way. Higher, 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 higher. Who is higher than her? Higher, 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 higher. Who is higher than her? In a Mount Zion, oh Zion, Mount Zion, and holy high, holy high, draw Rastafari, oh holy high, remember in a Zion, I am big oh 12 tribe, talk about Rastafari. Higher, 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 higher. Higher, 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 higher. In a Zion high. Higher, 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 higher. Higher, 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 higher. In a Zion high. Holy high, holy high. Remember high, in a Zion high. Holy high, holy high. Remember high, in a Zion high. Rastaman, oh Rastaman, and I am a big man, in a Zion high. Rasta woman, oh Rasta woman, a 12 tribe woman, a big woman in a Zion. Higher, 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 in a Zion. Higher, 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 in a Zion. Holy high, remember high, in a Zion high.
And good night to Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 4 minutes. Well, some of them saying 4, some saying 5. Yeah, hello, I'll take the top one. 5 minutes after the 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. And indeed, it's always wonderful to be in studio right here with you. Yes, indeed, folks. So it's time for Talking Points, just to let you all know some of the activities that are coming up. Remember, tomorrow, just tomorrow. That's just in a few hours. Well, 24 hours. Yeah, less than 24 hours, man. Right. Yeah, the New National Party will be staging their zonal meeting, and that will be taking place out there in Montgelou, the St. George Southeast constituency branch of the New National Party. They will be the host of tomorrow's zonal meeting, which will be taking place at the Montgelou RC School. Yeah, that starts at 6:30 p.m. And up to bat, you have Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the Honorable Dr. Clarice Modest, Senator the Honorable Dwight Hosford, former MP for the constituency and constituency lead, Mr. Gregory Bowen, and Mr. Oliver Joseph, the chairman of the party. So that's going to be taking place tomorrow at the Montgelou RC School. That is the zonal meeting of the New National Party that's going to be taking place out there. So those of you who are near, far, you want to go, head on out there and hear the message of the New National Party. Also remember, this one is coming up on the weekend, and it is the New York Town Hall meeting of the New National Party. Yeah, some other people getting fritten. They hear NNP having thing, they're rushing to try and do thing too. Yeah, that is not enough space, man. Yeah. So up to bat will be, yes, political leader of the New National Party, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the Honorable Peter David, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters, Senator the Honorable Norland Cox, and Senator the Honorable Dwight Hosford. Each will be out there and giving the message of the New National Party. And where it taking place? Let me move that up a little bit. Yeah, it taking place at the Nazareth High, 475 East 57th Street. So that's the Nazareth High at 475 East 57th Street out there in New York. All right, main speaker, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, and starting at 5 p.m. So looking forward to that one. Those of you in New York, make sure you organize and you head on out to that activity. Also remember, this one is in November, but I'm reminding all you now, because there's a set of people that close to my heart. The Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Let me bring it across here. The Carriacou and Petit Martinique support group of the New National Party, New York chapter, invites you to a grand fundraising brunch, and that's going to be taking place on Saturday, the 16th of November at 302 East 91st Street in Brooklyn, New York, right? So that's taking place, the fundraising brunch of the New National Party Carriacou and Petit Martinique branch. They are having that fundraising brunch taking place on Saturday, November 16th at 302 East 91st Street, Brooklyn, New York, between Lenox and Clarkson, starting at noon. And you know they're having it Soraka style, $30, right? Yes, just $30. And you can get your escovitch fish, chicken, or pork served with your choice of rice and peas, kuku, lo mein, salad, and much more. So remember, folks, that's the New National Party Carriacou and Petit Martinique support group out there in New York. They are having that activity, and it'll be taking place on the 16th of November. And that's going to be taking place at 302 East 91st Street, Brooklyn, New York, between Lenox and Clarkson, starting at midday. All right. And let me see what else I've got to remind you all of here. The New National Party River Sally. The River Sally support group. They're having a luncheon and social event at the River Sally basketball court. That's taking place on the 9th of November, starting at noon. And they've got chicken, pork, fish. Chicken $15, pork $20, and fish $20. So they're having a luncheon and social event that's going to be starting at midday on the 9th of November, and it's going to be at the River Sally basketball court, all staged by the New National Party River Sally support group. All right, so NNP doing it. That's what they're getting frightened for, because NNP had this going on, we had that going on, we all kind of thing. So they're getting afraid. Don't get afraid. Do all your thing. Nobody ain't stopping all you from doing all your thing. Because NNP doing thing like this one too. Let me hear it.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Grenada.
Get ready
as the new National Party invites all to its 40th anniversary fundraising bingo event. Sunday, October 27th from 5 p.m. at Victoria Park, Grenville. Over $100,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Imagine you can win a Suzuki Ignis hybrid car, $50,000 in cash, plus other fantastic prizes. Tickets are $60 for one or $100 for two. Free buses will be available island-wide. Don't miss it, or you might just see your neighbor driving a Suzuki Ignis. Sunday, October 27th, we're heading to Victoria Park in Grenville for the new National Party 40th Anniversary Fundraising Bingo.
All right, folks. Yeah, somebody tell me they're hearing me low. I don't know. Am I low? Are you all hearing me properly? You know, I always just have to check. Yeah, are you all hearing me properly? Hey, Kemita, good night to you. I need to hear from you, eh? Nice. Yeah, Brother Nimrod Olivier, I also need to hear from you tonight, folks. Yeah, we're going to open up the phone line and thing tonight, you know, because we have a lot of things to speak about, but we're going to open up the phone lines and thing tonight, too. We're going to give you the opportunity to call in, starting in a little while. Not quite yet, because we've got a lot of stuff that we need to speak about tonight. All right? Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff that we need to speak about tonight.
40 years we going strong and getting stronger. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Anniversary.
Yeah, the first one.
Happy anniversary, NNP. 40 years of resilience.
I'm pretty sure by now most of you all saw this circular that was sent out by government. And it was sent out from the Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education to officers of the Schools and Curriculum Division, Head of Student Support Services Unit Testing. So in other words, everybody that work under the Ministry of Education, also the Grenada Union of Teachers, the principals and all the teachers, staff of all public pre-primary, primary and secondary schools. And in this letter, they were warned not to say certain things on social media. It goes, the Ministry of Education informs that the Public Service Commission has been made aware of social media posts by public officers. Yeah, let me move that thing there. Nice, right. Public officers that have the potential to bring the service into disrepute. In this regard, public officers are advised to avoid making posts on social media that could be reasonably be determined to tarnish both their reputation and that of the public service. The Commission requests all public officers to exercise responsibility in their pronouncements on social media and other broadcast platforms. Right? Following this circular, the Commission will take appropriate action should it be reported that officers, through their posts, have brought both themselves and the public service into disrepute. Principals are asked to bring this circular to the attention of all officers on staff who are required to sign a copy to indicate that they have read and understand its contents. Kindly return the signed copy to the Office of the Chief Education Officer by Monday, November 18th, 2024. So they give them roughly a little 3 weeks or so to sign. Make sure you sign that you saw that memo and that you understand and that you're going to abide by the memo. All right? Yeah, but the Union of Teachers apparently didn't do like that. So the Union of Teachers, they sent out this circular. Right? So their members, and it's on their letterhead, it has been brought to the attention of the Grenada Union of Teachers that a correspondence circular number 66 of 2024 regarding the use of social media by public officers was recently released by the Ministry of Education. The union reminds all that a similar correspondence was previously issued by the Ministry of Education. A lot of people not remembering that. We note that this situation has seemingly escalated to an unprecedented level, as teachers are now being instructed and compelled to sign such a document. The union therefore advises its members to refrain from signing this document. Please be aware that if you choose to sign, it will be at your own discretion. Thank you for your cooperation and vigilance in this matter. Yeah, so the union is saying to the teachers, don't sign that. Yeah, so the government is saying to the teachers, mainly the teachers, the Grenada Union of Teachers, and yeah, they're telling them, listen, don't go and put up nothing on social media. If you don't get paid, don't go and say that on social media. Be very careful what you say on social media, or you may find yourself being dragged in front of the Public Service Commission. Yes, and as I've said before, and I've been saying for the past 2 years, the Public Service Commission has been weaponized against the workers of this country. It has been weaponized against public officers, inclusive of teachers. It has been weaponized against the workers of Grenada. So they're using the Public Service Commission now to terrorize the people. Yeah, they are using the Public Service Commission to terrorize anybody that they perceive to not hold the same political inclinations or proclivities as themselves. So if you are perceived to be a non-supporter, forget it. You're ending up in front of the Public Service Commission if you go and say certain things. You may very well find yourself in front of the Public Service Commission, and there are examples of it happening. There are even members of the union leadership who at this point in time will find themselves, if they have not already found themselves, I just hear things, that they want to drag some of the senior members of the Public Workers Union, at least one or two. They want to drag them before the Public Service Commission as well. That is how far this government has gone. So they're trying to use the Public Service Commission now against the leadership of the unions. Now they have threatened here down to the Grenada Union of Teachers in the letter that they have sent out. They have threatened, now whether you sign, you don't sign. Did I say what? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So they're still going to go after you whether you sign, you don't sign. But this is scare tactics. They're trying to shut up teachers. When it was under the New National Party, the same people that have made this letter come out to you from the ministry, the same people that created that policy, the same people that sit in cabinet and conspire against the workers of Grenada. Don't think they're trying to make you aspire. They are actually sitting there and conspire against the workers of this country. Yet still, on May Day, the same workers are the ones that are attacking the New National Party as though the New National Party has been in office for the last 2 years. The same leaders of certain unions, one in particular, use their time on May Day to attack the New National Party as though the NNP is the one. They're walking with posters on May Day in 2024, attacking the New National Party that has been out of office since 2022. And while they're doing that, they ain't walking with no placard right now for the administration. There's no placard out there. They ain't hit no road. And come May Day again is another set of placard attacking the NNP and Dr. Mitchell and all of the NNP. But they have no placards out right now attacking the NDC administration that tell them they have to shut up. The NDC administration that is trying to guide what they put, what they say, that is trying to tell them you could say this and you can't say that. The same NDC administration, you don't hear them making no protests. You don't hear no protestations from them. You're not seeing them holding press conferences and saying, well, no, this government can't do that to us. Because as they have said, their leadership has said several times, they are responsible for putting this government in power. They said they hope this government remembers that they are the ones that put this government in power. In other words, that there was a mass movement amongst workers, public workers, inclusive of teachers especially, to vote the New National Party out and vote in the NDC that is doing this to them now. So they're giving them a spoon with honey in one hand and they have a mopstick beating them in the head with the next one. And then they try to boast and talk about pensions, and we did pensions. I heard one talking such a nonsense this morning. I don't know how Mr. George Mason end up on government time, because I don't know if he holds some position within the administration. I know he has stood up on the platform in May Day and openly professed his love and appreciation of his party, the National Democratic Congress. But he ended up there attacking union leaders, basically saying that union leaders trying to damage the pension. Oh, Mr. George Mason, you well? You're supposed to be a senior person within the trade union. In fact, right now, I'm more a trade unionist than you are. Trade union and government cannot be friends. Because at some point in time, you have to stand up, you have to defend your constituents. So because a trade union is speaking on behalf, a trade unionist, for example, the Public Workers Union, is speaking on behalf of their members, and they are speaking and giving concerns in relation to pension, it means that they don't want pension for those workers. It means that they're trying to overthrow the government. Mr. George Mason, I think you need a psychological evaluation, so something definitely ain't well with you. You need a psychological, you need a psych eval. Because something definitely ain't right with you. It's either something ain't right with you or you're wicked. Because you could tell that that was not the direction that the union was going. But all you know, I'm saying this now on May Day, is attack Dr. Mitchell, is attack the NNP again. Because they're in a love-hate relationship with the present administration. You all know that is what coming again. So they will give them the look, not even a tablespoon on it, they give them a teaspoon of honey in one hand. And they have a mopstick and is lash for so with the next one. But they love them, ain't it? I know back in the days, some people used to say, you have to beat me if you love me. That's stupidness, but beat me if you love me. So like some of them still have that kind of mentality. Stupidness. Yeah? Real stupidness. Anyway.
Best party and we know it. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Anniversary. Happy anniversary.
We recognize that the Prime Minister seems to be very, very afraid.
NNP.
Yeah, I realize like the Prime Minister seems to be very scared these days. And he has taken the proverbial bull by the horn. So now he's the one that has become, once again, the chief spokesperson on behalf of the government. Realize Brother Andy has disappeared from the scene. And it seems as though the Prime Minister is now the chief cook and bottle washer when it comes to the issue of PR. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Yeah, man, I want to get on the show with Sheldon, man.
You're live, man. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hey, Sheldon.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a while. Let me hold the call. Let me load on my TV here, man.
Yeah, callers. Yeah. Go right ahead.
I'm calling from New York, man. I'm talking about. I want to make a comment about the Prime Minister.
Go right ahead, my friend.
This guy, I have a problem with this guy. You see, the guy who we posed with you from Nigeria, the millionaire, the billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is a member of a cult in Nigeria by the name of the Black Axe.
I've heard those allegations. I don't know that they have a membership list out, but I have heard allegations of such things.
You have the Black Axe, you have the Night Rangers, you have the BNM. It's so much of them. Fertilities on this cult and them is very powerful. You're talking about men in high society like ministers in government, teachers, lawyers. This cult and them have contract with babies, with nurses in hospital, selling babies to them with money withdrawal. It's all kind of thing happening to these people. And the Prime Minister, they summons this brother to show up with his children. So if at any time he don't do what he's supposed to do. And if one of his kids dropped down and dead, don't be
Oh,
surprised.
let's hope nothing of the like happens. One of the worst things for any parent would be to lose let's just put that thought totally out of our mind. Let me don't go that direction at all. No. Let me drop that one. Let me leave that totally out. I feel very uncomfortable with that. So let's leave that part out.
Yeah, but the problem I have with him, I mean, who think he have that you're going to show up? He's a prime minister of a country, representing a country, and to show up in another country without the citizens knowing your whereabouts. We hire you, and you're supposed to know whatsoever you accomplish when the citizen is concerned. When you return home, you don't talk to nobody. You feel you don't owe nobody nothing. But this guy, all his attitude is that Grenadians don't go back to the pool. They want to run Grenada like North Korea, and he will go to any lengths to do that, because in the early time after the rescue mission, Grenada communists, there was a brother by the name of Bob Frederick on WLIB. On a Wednesday, they used to have this political show where you call in and give your views, and they used to be calling and say Grenadians could do what they want, what the Grenada would run by communists. And that is what we see now. And they will do anything to protect that. So if Grenadians don't want to get up and hit the street, talking won't do nothing. By the time election, it might be too late. Hey, my brother, thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much, my brother. And you have a wonderful night.
All right.
All right. Mr. Perryman, how you doing, sir? And Rick English. Well, I know you're listening. Rick. Yes, indeed. Belva Charles, good night to you as well. Martin, Mr. Martin. Yeah, down there in Frequente. Good night to you and your wife, sir. All right. 440, Mr. and Mrs. McPhail. Good night to both of you. Don't feel like I just forget all you. I know all you listening. I know all your day, mommy and daddy. I know all your day. Nice. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. That's the number to get on the inside. Let's take this call. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, good night. The voice of one crying out in the wilderness.
Cry out, Pastor.
How are you, Mr. Scott?
I am good. I'm going again some kind of thing there just now. But go right ahead.
Man, I could sit on your face. You're looking great. Sheldon and the listening audience, I am very much concerned with the behavior of the Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell. Now, I don't know if anybody noticed. The Deacon Miss Mitchell that we knew at the beginning of the political campaign, we seen somebody different now. I don't know if people realize that. We see the arrogance, we saw the facial expression, we seen the angriness in a guy that we did not. In other words, at the beginning of the guy campaign in the NDC, we saw this kind of a humble young man that, in my opinion, had meant so well. But if we go back and we do our assessment from then to now, I'm afraid we've seen someone who have what you call a dictatorial facial expression. And I could remember as recent with an interview with he and Mr. Gordon. I don't know how many people saw that interview where he was saying that he is the best seller for Grenada, Carriacou, and Matnik. And he said, with due respect to the Ministry of Tourism and with all the advertising that they have, he is like the head honcho. And I am very much concerned the decision, I'm very much concerned the direction that this country is heading under the leadership of Deacon Mitchell. And I'm asking myself the question as I close my case here, the question I'm asking myself, is there another country that is running the affairs of Grenada, Carriacou, and Matnik? Do Grenadian we have to continue to ask ourselves, who is Deacon Amis Mitchell? Who do he take in his advice from? And if he is the best seller of Grenada, and he wants us to make a statement, if the people of Nigeria do not know anything about Grenada, they have to know about him. I am very concerned. I'm very concerned. I rest my case, Sheldon. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor. 440-737-734-732. Now, I see somebody was trying to reach me. Let me try and reach them back. Yeah, let me try and give them a call back there. Let me clear the lines here. And let me try and see if I can get through to them. Yeah, because they did tell me they wanted to call today. So let me see if I can reach. Hello, good night.
A pleasant good night to you, Sheldon Sparks.
Hi, good night, my dear. How are thou?
I'm okay, I'm fine.
How is mommy?
Sheldon,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get you last night, but no, I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yesterday, an elderly come to me, crying, and telling me that she go in the seed office to get the money, and they took her out from the program, and she don't have nothing to eat.
So she went
Girl,
to
like
collect.
even come and give her notice to take out she current, and she cannot pay. She don't have the money. And water bed in her. The water bed me too. Sheldon, these people wicked. We need to get them out there. Trust me.
So let me ask this. How old is this person we're speaking about?
Yes. And she's about 70.
She's about 70 something years.
My goodness. So this is a lady who is in her 70s that has been removed from the seed program.
Pardon me?
She's been removed from the seed program. She's over 70 years old. Your background is yeah, because your background is pretty loud. You might have to move outside a little bit.
Okay, hold on.
So folks, what we're hearing there is another person that has been removed from the seed program.
You hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you, you know. It's you that couldn't hear us, but we were hearing you. You go ahead.
Yeah, tell me the question
So
again.
the lady is over 70 years. She's been removed from the seed program. Is it a situation where the lady get a pile of money somewhere? All of a sudden she gets a certain money so she don't qualify?
No, the woman don't have nothing. The woman don't have nobody to stand up to give her something to go by, you know, and that is the money she depending on.
Okay, and which area is this specifically that the lady is living?
That's my neighbor.
So there has something against all up in Simona. There's something
Well,
against
maybe.
because they take off your child. They have taken off your autistic child from the program. Your child was 9 at the time, is 10 because his birthday was 2 weeks ago, so he's 10 now. They took him off the program. And folks, let me just remind folks, we still need to assist because remember the child is off the program. So those of you that can help, please still reach out and try to assist and so they've taken the child off the program. Now they take a 70-something-year-old lady off the program.
Yes, and to tell you, the woman don't have no money to buy her medication, and that is real sad.
No, that's not just sad. That's wicked. It's not just sad. That's wicked. Yeah, so I can't understand why people would do that to somebody. It's not just sad. It is wicked. Yeah. There's no reason. There's no reason that they could possibly give me why you would take a 70-something-year-old unemployed lady. Well, she's 70-something. Anyway, my friend, we'll follow up on that for you. I'll get the name and so on, and we'll follow up on that for you. Okay? So I'll give you a call. Hello.
All right.
Yes, no problem, my dear. All right. Later.
Well, you have a good night and take care.
All right. Thank you. And folks, I think we have, oh boy, we lost that one. Yeah, I was trying to take another call as well. So you have a situation there, a lady, elderly lady, so she's in her 70s. She was on the seed program. She went to collect her seed payment, and now she's off the list. She's been told that she has been removed from the list, right? Yeah, so we have another caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. So this caller just called and say this person went in today and the name was off the list. Anyways, there is this particular woman. She said 2 girls came by her one day in last week and said to her, this month will be the last month she will be getting seed money. Okay?
And what is the reason?
And she asked them why. She asked them, this woman, she's about 70 something.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? This woman, that's the sister of the Prime Minister's aunt. Right? The Prime Minister's aunt is her sister.
The present Prime Minister.
Okay? The present Prime Minister. His aunt is that woman's sister. That woman was crying because she says she has no other financial assistance, and she was living with her partner for the past 2 years. So she went and let them know that she is living by herself now. So, the money not supposed to come together. So she's supposed to get her own money. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what went on, but anyway, she said they told her this will be the last month she'll be getting seed money. That woman was so devastated, and I felt so sad for her. I don't know.
But this is madness. So what excuse did her situation improve? Is it a situation that some child get rich and they're taking care of her, or she has somebody taking care of her, or something like that?
Her situation did not improve in any way. The only thing is, because their house was destroyed by the hurricane, and the government just gave her, not this present government, the government before just gave her a house. So that house recently finished, so she moved into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because she and her spouse was actually, not together, but they were still living together. So she moved into her little house. She does not even, I don't even think she have light. I'm not sure if she have light in there yet. I can't say, but that woman was so devastated. I felt so bad. I felt so sad for her. So my sister told us she should go to the minister's office and see if she can help.
I'm trying to understand the reasoning for taking people in their 70s off the list, because it's not people that you could take off the list and they could say, well, okay, I'll go and find a job. These are not people that could just get up and go and say, well, I'll go in and a 70-something-year-old lady that would just go up and say they're going and find a job. Something had to be definitely wrong with these individuals that are doing that to people.
Remember, and while I hear the Prime Minister boasting about they had given extra money for seed after burial, or whatever the case may be. So I guess they're trying to take out people to make up back for the money that they got extra. I don't know, but
my friend,
this is getting
my friend,
ridiculous.
Let me tell you something. The Prime Minister is trying to mislead people. The extra money that people received under seed has absolutely nothing to do with Deacon Mitchell and the NDC administration. Nothing to do with them. That money that was given, the additional $300 and something that were given to seed recipients, that money came from international agencies after the hurricane who made that donation to assist. It has nothing to do with the government. So when they're talking about an increase and a one-off payment to seed and so, they must also say that they had nothing to do with it. They were just used as a mechanism to get the money to the people, but they had nothing to. That is not money that they went in the treasury and take and give. That is money that come from different agencies. Yeah.
Well, thank God for you and the others that who makes us know that's what is going on, because I do not even know that. So
yeah, I can tell you that as a matter of fact. I'll prove it to you in a short while. I'll put it up on the screen and prove it to you. Oh dear, it seems as though...
So you don't even have to prove it.
Okay.
So anyways, I just wanted you to know that. So,
right.
Yeah, that's what's been going on.
All right, my dear.
So have a good night, Sheldon.
Same to you. All right.
Okay, bye.
Which government ministers' very close relatives are still receiving? And when I say close, you can't get closer than that. Yeah? The DNA is just like a point off. Yeah. Which minister's parents and so receiving seed right now while these 70-something-year-old people are being taken, and there's two different cases that you're hearing about there. These 70-something-year-old people are being taken off the program, electricity getting cut off, no money to buy food. If they're on medication, no money to buy that. Yeah, so they are going through that. Remember, we have a 10-year-old autistic child going to the school of special education. He didn't stop being autistic. His mother didn't stop being unemployed. They didn't stop not having a house after Beryl, mash up the house that he was living in, destroyed it. That situation did not change. The mother is still unemployed. She had been trying to get a job, different people try to help and so on, but there is a medical condition involved. So they tried to help. But you end up in a situation now, well, everybody know this lady name, I start to get it all different direction. Yeah. But you can't, I'm trying to understand how they can qualify this, but you know what? We're going to get into some of what the Prime Minister said. Let me hold on the calls for a little while, and let me get into some of what the Prime Minister said, because it's already 8:41. Before you run out of time, let us get into, computer, don't play that with me now. Right, I ain't in the mood for that. Don't try that with me now. Boonging you. Right. Let's, it's going to be a bit long, and I'm going to stop it at different points. And let's hear. And afterwards, I'm going to start to take the calls again. Let us go through, bit by bit, what the Prime Minister said on GBN yesterday morning. All right, so let's go through this first one. Yeah, let's go through this first one and hear a bit of what the Prime Minister was speaking about.
Now, on the economy, the state of the Grenada's economy, I would refer to you as someone on the ground. All right. I'm certain you heard conversations that this is halfway through the NDC's term, and we ain't feel nothing yet. We ain't seen nothing yet. If you are to make an honest comparison with the economy 3 years ago to where it is now.
Yes. Well, I will answer this by saying that's not even a fair comparison. 3 years ago, we were in the middle of COVID. There was no economy.
Okay.
Unemployment was almost 40 or 50%. So there's nothing to compare with. So even I wouldn't, in a sense, blow my own horn over the dramatic change in the economic circumstances of Grenada 3 years ago to now.
Okay, so let's go.
So let's just talk. Well, similarly, there's no comparison. Let us simply talk what we have done in the last 2.5 years.
So the Prime Minister here is admitting something that it seems as though his ministers who sit in the same cabinet with him refuse to admit, that the growth that you're seeing now from 0 to 10 is growth if you have nothing taking place. In other words, the tourism industry in the year 2020 was closed down, not just in Grenada, around the world. Even if you had kept Grenada open, nobody would come because nobody was traveling. Everybody was afraid. So if you're coming from 2020, 2021, 2022, it is only a couple months before the election that different aspects of things started to reopen here in Grenada and the world, not just Grenada, the world as well. So you were coming from a place of 0. So anything after that is growth. You ain't going down, you're going up. And it has nothing to do with who is in power at that point in time. It's merely a fact that the door reopened. But let's hear some more from the Prime Minister, because he's going to tell us what his administration did for the economy of Grenada right now. So let's hear him.
Yes. So the fact is, almost 50% of the population was unemployed heading into 2021, 2022. Youth unemployment was almost perhaps 60 or plus percent, right? You remember the entire tourism sector had been closed down. Cruise ships had not come into Grenada for a significant number of periods. People had been laid off, farmers, everybody, right?
Farmers were laid off during COVID. That one I can remember. As far as I know, farmers was going in the land and do what they had to do. Yeah, I know it had no movement days and so, but farmers unemployed during COVID. Anyway, you know you wasn't taking part in things at that time, so you ain't gonna know what was going on. But anyhow.
All of the retail sector, etc., was shut down, and we were coming out of that. So there's really no economy to talk about. What have we done? The tourism sector is fully open. Phenomenal numbers.
No, we have not done that, Mr. Prime Minister. Stop being a liar. That has nothing to do with you. The tourism sector was reopened during the time of the new National Party, and countries started, the cruise ship companies, and they started to roll out cruise ships again very slowly in 2022, and then coming forward. That had nothing to do with Grenada, and that had nothing to do with you. So that is not true. But anyway, go ahead.
In 2022 and 2023, record-breaking numbers. Never had been.
Of course, it's going to be record-breaking. Because if you have, from zero, you end up with 30% or 40% and that kind of thing. People weren't able to travel before, so if they start to travel again, you're coming from zero. The percentage increase will always look significantly better than a year where you may have had 25% and then you get up to 28 or 29% the following year. You just get a few percentage points, but you're coming from zero. And if you come from zero and you go up to 10 or so, of course the increase is going to be significantly more. But it does not mean that you have done better than who was there before. So don't try that one on us. That has nothing to do with you, but go ahead.
We have continued to support and encourage all of the tourism products and projects that we met. 6 centers are since open. Intercontinental is being...
Oh, that you met, we're waiting to hear which ones that you started. So all of these it's talking about, remember he said, all of the tourism projects that they met. In other words, the NNP were the ones that got these things started.
...built. Last Friday at Port Louis, Naguib Souri and his team opened an entertainment shopping complex. We are concluding our deal with them to have the Kawana Bay site rebuilt. Let us remind people, Grenada was facing $100 million+ lawsuit, arbitration proceedings in Washington, brought by the former developer against the state of Grenada when him and our then Prime Minister fell out, and when our Prime Minister made some rather unfortunate remarks in our Parliament about an investor that previously he was all hunky-dory with, and talking about the best CBI program, etc.
Now, let us also remember that as far as we, the public, have been hearing on the ground, because you ask him about what you're hearing on the ground, what we have been hearing on the ground, Mr. Prime Minister, is that that person who brought that case against Grenada funded your election campaign. And after funding your election campaign, that is what we're hearing out there. The allegations are that he funded your election campaign, that after that, that you all decide that, nah, we can't do that man that. We can't let that because the man would lose. The case that he had against Grenada, he had no foot to stand on. In fact, in last week's government gazette, they're trying to wrap up the company that he was using as, in my view, a shell company that he was using. They're in the process of wrapping it up. And who is one of the people wrapping it up? One of the people wrapping up the shell company of the person, the companies, and so the same people that they were talking about that bring the case against Grenada for $100 million. The person who is wrapping it up, the liquidator, sat on the board of people that made the decision not to go forward with the case and to pay that individual millions of dollars from the Grenadian treasury. And now, because they're hiding this one, they don't want you to know, and Mr. Prime Minister, you want them to know, ain't it, that the state of Grenada has to find around $56 million US now to pay out the shareholders. And they have issued various notices to the shareholders in that company and who have taken shares in the hotel project. Yeah, the people who actually pay money now to the developer. They owed $56 million US. And these people gotta be paid because you take it over. Tell them about that, Mr. Prime Minister. Don't try to give that we were facing $100 million. Grenada would have won the case. But you didn't go forward with the case, and Tong say, yeah, the streets, they say that the reason you didn't go forward with the case was because the man fund the NDC campaign. So I buy, so I sell. If you want to sue, sue. So I hear it.
The program has continued throughout, notwithstanding the geopolitical tensions and challenges that we face. Its management, its oversight, its governance is second to none. And we continue to get...
and you have changed absolutely no aspect of the program from under the NNP. So you're admitting that the NNP's CBI program that the new National Party brought into thing there, that program was second and remains second to none. In fact, when it comes to the security aspect of checking who should be under the program and so, Grenada's system of doing that is the gold standard. In other words, every other country is modeling after what was put in place in Grenada, not by him and his crew, but by the new National Party administration, the vetting process for people who have applied for your CBI program. Yeah? So, Mr. PM, up to now, nothing that you have said they have anything to do with you. So go ahead.
News from there. We have pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into the economy. So let us not forget, by November of 2022, in excess of $75 million had been paid to pensioners. Prior to that.
Now again, on this one, you didn't have a choice, Mr. Prime Minister. There was a court order. You didn't do anybody a favor. Even before you won the election, there was a court order, and the period of time to challenge that court order had expired. So you did not have you couldn't do anything else. You didn't have a choice. You had to pay any government. Was it the new National Party that had to pay 75 million? So you didn't come in, and because you're so magnanimous, and because you so love workers, and you so care about workers, that you came in all the whole on the phone calls, and you pay $75 million. Mr. Prime Minister, get with it. You're talking nonsense there. So again, that is no achievement. The $75 million was there because of the prudent fiscal management of the new National Party administration. Remember who was the Minister of Finance? Mr. Gregory Bowen. So the prudent fiscal management of the new National Party is why it had 75 million to be able to pay it. So don't come with that one. That is no achievement. Yeah? The workers had to get their money no matter who in office. So let's go again.
Had not received a pension for the last 40 years. So when we talk about feeling it, go and talk to the pensioners who are retiring into poverty, who couldn't pay their electricity, their water bill, who couldn't buy their food, who couldn't repair their homes, who couldn't pay their medical bills, who, in one fell swoop.
And again, a reminder that the new National Party paid pensions. There's some 52 or something of them that had qualified at that point in time that got their pensions. And then you had the issue through the courts in relation to a different aspect of this whole thing. And that is why you had to wait until that point in time for the case to finish, for this thing to reach the way it reached now. It have nothing to do with Deacon Mitchell and the NDC. Again, anybody come to tell you that, they're being disingenuous. Deacon Mitchell and the NDC have absolutely nothing to do with the fact that people got their pensions. Nothing. The trade union movement, they could take a lap right around the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. They could do that. The trade union movement could do that. Yeah? And the NNP administration, for not putting up a fight against this thing, the NNP could have put up a fight and tie this thing up in court for the next 20 years. They did not. They did not put up a fight to tie this thing up in court. The only thing coming down to the election that was a discussion was not that it had to be that to pay, It wasn't a case that NNP said they're not paying. It was the methodology of how you're going to pay. Are you going to take a large lump sum and just give at one time, or are you going to do it in tranches? You give some now, you give some after, you give another, so you make it in a 2 or 3 payments or 4 payments, whatever, instead of a lump sum payment. But you see, they wanted to be able to say, we pay the pension, we pay the pension. So they come and they hit 75 million, one go. It did nothing to the economy. Nothing. There was nothing special that happened in the economy when they do that. So I know who they're trying to fool with that one. But anyway, let's continue.
Had access to $75 million and who since are receiving their monthly pensions. We're talking hundreds, if not thousands of Grenadians. So if you want to talk about feeling it, go and ask them. Go and ask the Imani workers, and note I'm saying workers, not trainees, who've been hoodwinked and lied to and kept in poverty.
Nice, wonderful. The Imani workers, are we speaking about the same Imani workers that you promised to regularize in 12 months? You come back and say you never said it, but the same, you're plating a timing. The same Imani workers that you promised to regularize within 12 months of taking office. The same Imani workers that you said that problem could be fixed by the stroke of a pen. That the administration at that point in time, you claimed that they were just wicked, they were malicious, because that problem could be solved by the stroke of a pen. And you can't say it, you can't say it because we have it on tape when you said it. You said by the stroke of a pen. You said that the Imani workers would be regularized within 12 months of coming into office. So if you're talking about lying to Imani, you is the biggest liar of them all. And it's the arrogance in which he says these things. It's the arrogance in which he's saying this. The new National Party came into office in 2013. Within 6 months, we had 4,000 young people involved under a youth program. That meant that these 4,000 young people were receiving critical training in different areas, life skills training, and they also were receiving training in different areas. Outside of that, they got a monthly stipend. And contrary to what the Prime Minister claimed that they was getting 700, 700 was the base figure to encourage them to go and get an additional 2 subjects so that you could get up to the 1,000, because not all was getting a 700. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And some of all you who are or were under the Imani program need to do the decent thing sometimes and speak up. Don't leave it to just be Sheldon talking all the time. Speak in your community. You don't have to call the program. Speak in your community and say these people lying. Because they're trying to give the impression that some Ole was only getting a 500 and a 700. Yes, that all Ole was getting that. Some people were getting that, but if you had no subjects, that was to encourage you do some evening classes. In fact, I know of many MPs under the new National Party personally pay for Imani trainees who were getting the 700 and so to go and do subjects so that at least they could get up to 8 and 9. You encourage them so that they could get up the scale. Instead of you just give everybody one thing across the board. That is the reason it was done. But yet still, since this NDC administration has been in office, and let's get the exact number of days here. Yeah? So it's June 23rd. Right? June 23rd, yeah. 2022 to now. Right? Yeah. So let's see how much days, right? 853 days or 2.33 years. 28 months, 2 years, and 4 months, right? So this same NDC administration has been in office for that period of time. Remember, I told you, the new National Party, in 6 months, had 4,000 young people under a program. This administration, not even 1,000. Not even 500. Recently, they're taking some young men under the Empower program, and only because Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters continue to embarrass them on it. Only because she continued to talk on it and embarrass them. They run and they pull some young people under the Empower program, and young people make use of the opportunity. Make proper use of the opportunity. Yeah? But Project Fly, all them other things, outside of Imani, nothing. So don't come to try and talk down to us about Imani program when you have put no program. You're talking about Imani, but you have put no program. You lied to them. You told them in 12 months. You told them by the stroke of a pen. You told them the NNP was wicked. Yet still, the Imani trainees are still not regularized in the 12 months. In fact, we are now on to 2 years and 4 months, or 28 months later. 28 months later. So who lie? So, Mr. Prime Minister, you see, innocent.
For almost a decade, working for $600 and $700, and who in one fell swoop were making $1,200. A 1/3 increase in the income. Go and ask them about feeling it and on the ground. Go and ask all of the construction sites where the contractors can't even find workmen.
Again, the NDC administration has brought in absolutely no new projects. None. So what are people working on? Projects that were put in place by the new National Party. So the fact that you can't find construction workers has nothing to do with Deacon Mitchell and the NDC. It have nothing to do with them. So far, the Prime Minister has told us absolutely nothing. But he has said that nothing with such arrogance. And he has said that nothing so smooth that there are some that may be fooled by it because they do not know behind what has been taking place. So the construction have nothing to do with them. Outside of what? A 2-box drain I see they're doing different place. And so, listen, when the NNP talking about building roads and building drains, we don't measure it in feet of drains and feet of road. The new National Party, when we talking about building road, when we talking about doing drains and bridges, we just speak about miles of road. We did 2 miles here, 3 miles there. Miles of road and miles of drains. We don't talk in feet. Yeah, we ain't talking in feet. But anyway, go ahead.
To work. Go and ask the hoteliers, they can't even find persons to work. They are begging. We have to import labor into the country.
The hoteliers. Now, what hotel was conceived by your administration and put in place? Again, that's the NNP. You're just shamed to say it's the NNP that have the economy of Grenada at a level right now. You're just shamed to say that. We're going down the road further, man. We listen to you know. Yeah.
So the reality is the economy has grown. It is growing. And mind you, we just had a hurricane. In most cases, hurricane tends to wipe out your GDP.
Mr. Man, the hurricane affected one part of the island, not the whole island. This is not Hurricane Ivan that when you're looking at St. David, the whole thing flattened. You look at Willis, Boca, Vendome, all those flattened. You look at the south of the island, flattened. You look at the tongue of St. George, flattened. All up in Mount Moritz, all those places, badly damaged up in St. John, all these things. The damage to the north of the island was a little more minimal, but places like Marquis and all these places, bad damage. Yes, the people in Carriacou got serious damage, but you're speaking of a smaller area that contributes a smaller amount to the general GDP of Grenada. You're speaking about a smaller area compared to the whole island. So stop talking shippiness to intelligent people. Come on, get real. We just had a hurricane. You have to suck your lip in for that, didn't you? Go ahead.
Right? We will let the numbers coming at the end of the day and you will see what has happened. We've had a hurricane and we've had a significant turnaround immediately. We were open for business within a month. It is the confidence people have in the governance of the country.
But we were open for business in a month? People in Carriacou business disappear. They're still looking for it outside Canwan. So which business in Carriacou was open in a month? The businesses in the south of the island were open the next day because there was nothing that happened significantly. Yes, 1 or 2 people get damaged different parts of the island, and so according to how the wind blow through different people. I know one person in the south that lost their house, everything. But he's giving the impression like the whole of Grenada was affected by Hurricane Beryl. The whole island get lashed. And after the whole island get lashed now, that people still talking. But we were able to maintain the economy through a hurricane. Mr. Prime Minister, come on, let me get serious here. Where that beeping coming from? Seeing what beeping here, you know. Right, nice.
The Carriacou Heads of Conference meeting was held 1 month after the hurricane. The
Carriacou Heads of Government meeting wasn't being held in Carriacou? But seriously, who the Prime Minister feel he fooling? You think all are we stupid? No, I want to ask that question. I will open the phone lines. I cannot take the calls right now. Let us complete here, and I'm going to say I will take the calls just now. Don't worry, I see the phone lines lighting up like a Christmas tree. But we're going to take the calls just now. All right, Papa? Nice, right. Yeah, let me hear the Prime Minister again. We fooling with that? So Carriacou Heads of Government meeting was held here right after the hurricane. So what happened? Grandans the mash up? It had no place for them to stay in Grandans. All roof was off. Electricity was damaged. Grenlec had to go and put back pole in Grandans. The night of the hurricane, I get back electricity. The same night of the hurricane. They took it off, it seemed, as a precaution. And the night of the hurricane, the Grenlec team were passing around different parts of the south of the island. And as they pass and they verify everything okay in the area, they reconnect the electricity. By 7 o'clock the night of the hurricane, I had back electricity in Frequente. So me know what the Prime Minister talking about? Hey, fix your face. Let me hear him.
1 month after the hurricane, the hotels and so on in the south of Ireland were open and doing business thereafter.
Name one hotel, Mr. Prime Minister, in the south of the island that was damaged. All you understand the kind of nonsense that's being said here. So I'm sorry I had to give the running commentary on it. But I just had to expose the stupidity for what it is. Because it has to be stupidity to think that all of us in this place dunce, and you could say these things and get away with it. Name one, just one. Name one hotel in the south of the island that got significant damage from Hurricane Beryl. That they couldn't open the next day, or they had to close down, or they had to go and do a etc. Name one. Talking about within a month the hotels were open. The hotels were open the next day. Them hotels never closed in the south of the island. Where the Prime Minister come from? Man, watch. Let me hear the rest.
Let us go to Carriacou right now. Minister James will be on the press conference tomorrow, the post-cabinet press conference. She will talk about the phenomenal work that has gone about in cleanup.
Don't worry, we'll talk about she Friday night. Yeah. We ain't talking about she tonight.
Carriacou and Petit Martinique. There's no comparison between Hurricane Ivan and what has taken place in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. There are crews, hundreds of people that we have employed and paid, spending millions of dollars in Carriacou and Petit Martinique just for the cleanup. The Solid Waste Management Authority indicated in a briefing to Cabinet yesterday that by the end of November, they expect to take all the debris off Carriacou and Petit Martinique, take it out of the island completely. We have brought in...
Just remember, if you're taking all the garbage off of Carriacou, go with the MP2. Anyway, you don't leave him behind. If you're taking all the garbage out of Carriacou, remember to take Tevin too. Anyhow.
From Trinidad, an amazing, sophisticated machine that is going about picking up all of the sunken vessels in the oyster bed and so on. That's work, that's employment, right? We have schools reopened in Carriacou and Petit Martinique within 1 month of the hurricane. The hurricane was the first of within a period of only 1 month, of people being out of school.
Now, thanks for correcting yourself, because I lost you on that. Because school was out by the time the hurricane passed. So, thanks for correcting yourself. Nice, right? Correct yourself. Because he was saying that school was open 1 month after the hurricane. No, it was not. 1 month after the hurricane would have been in the middle of August. We're talking about. Anyhow.
Only September was missed. So, what do you think if school children...
And just remember, this is speaking about the same situation with them tent and them down in Dover where the children can't stay on there. And Ziggy, we need an update on what's going on in Dover. Yeah, we have got no update in relation to what has taken place in Dover. We need to get an update on how the children and the parents are coping in They're getting water now, their bathroom facilities. They find some ways of putting the tent so that the children, not like in a Turkish sweatbox. We need to know. Yeah, but anyhow.
Going to school, there's no economy in Grenada, Right? So, teachers are being paid. You had a hurricane, there was absolutely no interruption.
Mr. Prime Minister, wait. Let me pull back slightly. Mr. Prime Minister, I think you just say what you say. Teacher Jude. There
was absolutely no interruption in the public financing. Everybody got paid.
Everybody. I don't think we hear that proper, man. Let me pull back slightly there. Yeah, let me hear you again, Mr. Prime Minister.
In the public financing, everybody got paid. So when people talk about
Jude, so what you've been trying to tell us, the man say everybody get paid, you know? He said there's been no disruption. Everybody get paid. So who is the people? Maybe the people now working in the service? Are they talking about people in the private sector? Are they talking about people that in them, what they call them, school and them there again? We need to know. Because something definitely wrong here, because the Prime Minister is claiming that there was no disruption, everybody got paid. Yeah? So if everybody got paid, I hear next week all you're looking to protest. It didn't make sense this week because today teachers had the training and tomorrow is midterm and so Friday is a holiday. So I hear it didn't make sense for all to protest this week. So all going to protest next week instead. That's why I hear, so I buy, so I sell. I'm not part of the union. I'm not part of the union, but anyway. So Mr. Prime Minister, so far, everything you tell us is nonsense. But let me hear you again. You're saying the nonsense so nice. But let me hear. Go ahead. More nonsense.
Feeling it. Do not let detractors and foolish people make you have the bone in your mouth. You look at yourself in the mirror, in the reflection.
All you realize how you breathing when you're talking now? when you're talking about foolish people, who is the foolish people? You definitely ain't talking about us, because you had to be a fool to think you could fool us with that nonsense. But anyway, here we breathing and so, go ahead.
And think there's a bigger bone or a second bone, and you drop the bone in your mouth to go and dash after a bone in the river that doesn't exist. So this talk about not feeling it on the ground, we know that is a typical distraction talk. And then I'll go to the group that...
Oh, you know that. You know it's typical. So people say that they're going through certain things, and as far as you're concerned, people just saying that. So you don't really care what's being said out there. Anybody that say things not nice in the country, as far as you're concerned, they're foolish. And okay, all right, Mr. Prime Minister, you will come in front of the door.
It's always the reservoir of votes, right? And it's always the flashcard. The social safety nets have been uninterrupted and has improved. You may not be aware of it, but persons on the seed list, seed recipients, beneficiaries, received an extra cash payment post-burial. Are you aware of that?
No, I wasn't.
Carriacou, Petit Martinique, St. Patrick, all of the seed beneficiaries who were on the list, whether or not they were impacted by burial, received an extra cash payment.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister. So let me just make sure people hear that part again. Folks, you see why I had to stop the calls and do this, because if we were taking the calls, I couldn't go through. I want to go through it and then we're going to take the call. I know some of you calling, you want to call. I'm going to take your calls. But let me go through this, man. Even if I have to stay a little 5 minutes extra, I'll do it. Yeah?
And has improved. You may not be aware of it, but persons on the seed list, seed recipients, beneficiaries, received an extra cash payment post-burial. Are you aware of that?
No, I wasn't.
Carriacou, Petit Martinique, St. Patrick, all of the seed beneficiaries who were on the list, whether or not they were impacted by burial, received an extra cash payment in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl.
Okay, so Mr. Prime Minister, they received an extra cash payment after Hurricane Beryl. So in other words, you're trying to give the impression that it was your administration that do that. That's why you could never like Linda Stricker, you know. Yeah, let me just show people something here. Right? Nice. This is an article. Yes, you write it, And this article is from the 19th of September. Today's the 23rd of October. The 19th of September 2024. It is on the Now Grenada website. Any one of you can go there now on the Now Grenada website and find it. It speaks to UN agencies, not the government of Grenada. UN agencies provide one-off financial support. So UN agencies provide one-off financial support. World Food Program made payments to people in Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and St. Patrick. You heard him mention those areas a while ago. UNICEF made payment to people in the parishes of St. John and St. Mark. Don't take my word for it. Look it big and bold here. Let me increase the size. Look it big and bold right here. The World Food Program made payment to people in Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and St. Patrick. UNICEF made payment to people in the parishes of St. John and St. Mark. Right? And they spoke of the Burial Relief Income Program to run from November 2024 to April 2025. So that is a program to come. But that is not a program that the Prime Minister is referring to. And it says here, using the support for education, empowerment, development, seed in the Ministry of Social Development as their baseline. 2 United Nations agencies have made one-off payments to hundreds of beneficiaries of the program in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. The Category 4 hurricane devastated the country with raging winds on July 1st. But the northern parts comprising the Grenadines of Carriacou and Petit Martinique and the parishes of St. Patrick and St. Mark were the hardest hit. Government declared these areas as disaster zones from July 1st to 30th September. The World Food Program and the UNICEF Caribbean Office in Barbados have made one-off support payment to the seed beneficiaries in the parishes. World Food Program made payment to Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and St. Patrick, while UNICEF made payment to people in the parishes of St. John and St. Mark. The additional payment from UNICEF of US $120 or EC $330 payment was collected the same time that seed beneficiaries received the monthly support from government for September. The seed payment will vary depending on household. However, the World Food Program was done after the monthly August payment of seed. In June, Social Development Minister Gloria Thomas told Parliament that there were 7,914 people benefiting from the seed program. So just to let you all know, just to let you all know that payment that the Prime Minister is referring to has absolutely nothing to do with he. See why they wouldn't like us? They don't like me. I want them like me anyway. I'd rather like me. But has absolutely nothing to do with him. Let me jump on the phone lines here. Let me start to take some calls. Yeah, and I'll go back to our next speech just now. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon. What's up, my brother?
Ziggy.
Yes, man.
Well, God, why? I'm taking it brief tonight. Yeah, now.
Yes.
What is this? What?
A very long time I get to hear you, and you see the thing is time run up on us. So let me say what to say very fast, right? Mm-hmm. Sheldon, to be honest with you, I never know we stay in a country that really can talk, because
for some reason you're sounding a bit muted. I'm not sure if the listeners are understanding what you're saying. I am hearing you a bit muted. But go ahead. Let's see if they message and say so, we'll know. Go ahead.
Yeah, the network is rubbish down here now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know that we live in a country where we cannot be talk. We can't say certain words, because I get locked up last Friday for saying it's stupidness that's going on.
So wait. You get locked up, boss?
I get locked up on Friday in the tongue just for saying it's stupidness that's going on here. The Grenada police force, young lady, come and lock me up because I've used the word that it's stupidness that's going on here. And she make her lost a job because the woman I was driving was a driving work I was doing, and she make her lost the job just for stupidness. Because I have to go to court.
Careful, you just call it stupidness again. Next thing she arrests you again.
Right? Look at this time is you never take to court.
Well, I'll tell you this, I'll tell you this, Ziggy. There's a law in the books. In fact, I've had that conversation with different lawyers. There's a law in the books that speaks to insulting language. Or if a person feels insulted by what you have said. Definitely that law needs to be challenged by somebody constitutionally, and that law needs to be struck down. And maybe your case is the one where you need a lawyer that's going to challenge the constitutionality of that so we could get that taken off the law books. It's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
If they want to arrest me for saying it's nonsense, come.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna work it like I said. I'm gonna go to court with no lawyer.
Go with a lawyer.
All right, okay.
I mean, the most they could do is charge you some money to pay. But I'm saying that I believe you should retain counsel. There are people that might be willing to do that for you for free, because that is something that needs to be struck down. I think recently I heard Jerry Edwin speaking about that. He might be an interesting person to speak to on that, because I did hear him mention that specifically. I've spoken with other lawyers in relation to it. Speak to Jerry.
Well, I got it number, so I'm going to call him and talk to him tomorrow, please, God. I'm going to go to your office tomorrow.
Yes. No, go ahead.
Yeah, but on beside what happened to me with the lockup, okay. But I just want to say, the people in Carriacou, they is confused right now with what's going on when it's taking the garbage from Petit Matnik and bring it to Carriacou and dump it in the past there. So right now the people on the island are very confused, and they really want to know if the minister or the Prime Minister of Grenada know if they know what they're really doing. Because this is really, really confused the people right now. They're fed up seeing the garbage and more garbage coming in. So all the garbage from Petit Matnik is coming into Carriacou.
Your voice go there again.
All the garbage from Petit Matnik coming in Carriacou, and one that to stop. Either they get it out of Carriacou or they have to do something with it. Don't take the garbage from Petit Matnik and bring it come in Carriacou.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is that when they're taking the garbage, take the MP too.
That's what they should have to be doing.
That'll make
But-
sure they go with E2.
but
Don't leave him.
Jesus
Don't leave him behind.
Jesus Christ, but the next thing, the people in Carriacou come out and tell you on the radio that up to today, they have the talent opening. Up to today, they cutting flag for the police station. They cutting flag, they cutting ribbon for the police station. They cutting ribbon for post office. But the health in Carriacou still there, zero. I don't let the people know. They could cut ribbon and they can't cut the ribbon for the hospital. Up to today, the hospital not up and running. Everybody there in town clinic. And in town, we have all the garbage and that's where they have the most mosquito and cockroach and some big rats. There are big one of the man, they could every Carriacou. You understand? And they don't do the talk, they don't say, oh, we don't like to talk. I hear the Prime Minister of Grenada and Carriacou with the message say, he's the one that make Nigeria know that there is Grenada. Whenever you say make Nigeria know there is Carriacou with the message too. So I hope it could be work.
My friend, I have some more clips to play. We're going to talk.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, brother.
All right.
Yeah. I wanna play our next one here. I want to play. Let me make sure I have it queued. Yeah, I think I had the right one queued there. Nice. Right. I want to play something. And I want to play it in the context of... Anyway, let me just play this for you all. Yeah? It's going to prove something. Let me just play this for you all.
And
Thank you.
We left out on the privatization / statutarization of the healthcare services in Grenada. And I said I did some research and realized that there are two laws, one from 1954 and the revised one of 1998. You care to elaborate on it?
Yeah, I mean, there already exists legislation on the book. For example, Act number 4 of 1998, which is now Chapter 130A of the Laws of Grenada. It's called the Grenada Hospitals Authority Act. So this act actually already creates, by Section 3 of the Act, a body to be known as the Grenada Hospitals Authority, hereinafter referred to.
You know what that just proved to me there? That proved to me that they give innocent the questions to ask. That's what it proved to me. After listening to the Prime Minister yesterday morning and listening to him this morning, I recognize media houses don't think that a bad talking earlier, but the Prime Minister come and if he had only a list of questions to ask him. Because I found it very strange that yesterday's interview and today's interview, the line of questioning was exactly the same. Slight change. And I'm sure if somebody had called in at that point in time and asked Innocent about the legislation that he said he researched and he found out about, that he could not tell you not one clause in that legislation. Because how come you do research, you, the host, do research and you find out it have this legislation, but you're asking the guests to explain it? How the guests know before you come to be able to expound like how the Prime Minister was immediately able to go onto it and say, well, these acts create this and there's this and that in it and so on. It is obvious that you were fed that piece of information. Ain't Innocent? You ain't so innocent on that one. It's obvious. If you listen to... I listened to him on MTV this morning. Okay, you know he making the wrongs, frightened. He reach all by them taxi men in town today, all kind of frightened. So he going all over right now trying to plaster all sore all over the place. Yeah? The mere fact that you say you research it, that I would have thought that what you did, you would say to the Prime Minister, well, okay, Section 3, subsection 4 says so. How do you interpret that? But instead, you say you research it. You ain't say no aspect of what you research. Because when I come here and I say, okay, this law says, I put the law up and I tell all you, I show all you, I say this, say that, say that. So you research. Mr. Man, just say that Ms. Neela Etienne, the press secretary, gave you the questions and the parameters in which you have to question the Prime Minister. Just say that. Remember, Kalisha Faria some months ago was saying that she ain't looking for no interview the Prime Minister again because they were saying that she had to send questions beforehand and that kind of thing. And if you listen to this morning's interview and you listen, they didn't even have enough sense to change the line of questioning. So it's burial, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, housing, health, pensions, the economy, travel. And if you listen to yesterday's interview, if you have your belly to do that, and you listen to today's interview, you realize it's the exact same line of questioning. So just admit that, Miss Neela 80, and walk inside there and give all of the questions now, man. Just admit that. Yeah, don't try and tie us up and make it look like you ain't do no research, innocent. You lie. Because I'm sure if I call you right now on this program, we have your number and we could call you, that you cannot tell me a single part of that law. I'm positive on that. They gave you the questions and tell you ask those questions.
Thank you.
We left out on the privatization / statutarization of the healthcare services in Grenada. And I said I did some research and realized that there are two laws, one from 1954 and the revised one of 1998. You care to elaborate on it?
Yeah, I mean, they already exist.
You do the research by asking he to elaborate. Man, watch. Come on, if all you're looking to lie, learn to lie. Just don't take us for fool now. We not stupid. We not stupid. Let me take a call here. We not stupid. I find out they taking us for stupid. We not stupid. Stop that. We have a call online.
Fadu.
Hey, Fadu,
What go on, brother?
Man, I don't like people insult my intelligence, and I find them men insulting my intelligence.
Same here. Dido. Same here. I feel like I'm in an episode of the Truman Show, you know. I feel like I'm in an episode of a Truman Show, brother, because it's like, I don't know, it's like clone versions, like polar opposites, bro. Like, you're hearing one thing, yeah, then you see the next episode and you hearing something totally different with the same voice, with the same characters. I don't get it. I swear, it's like somebody doing a watch a Lulu step first, bro.
I don't understand what. Well, let me not say I don't understand. I understand what's taking place there. They think we're shopping.
yeah. I find they underestimating John Public.
The Prime Minister spoke about the economy there, and not one of the things there was initiated, guided, conceptualized by his administration. Nothing. Not one.
I totally agree.
Something
I want to point out well, a couple of things, but let's drop it this was. Generally, have you ever known Grenadian people to not be comfortable in their own skin in terms of aesthetics?
Nah, man, we Grenadian. Anywhere we go, we put on the flag. We're proud of that, you know.
We are some tiki, we are some slimmers. You know what I mean? We good so in it.
Yeah.
We have some men with big nose and they cool with that. Well, I hear the PM talking about some tummy tuck and them kind of sitting there so.
That's not for us, man.
The health agenda that I hear the PM pushing is about some tummy tuck. Like people go come on vacation and do their tummy tuck, some plastic surgery. That's mutilation and them kind of sitting there in it.
Well,
no.
I wouldn't mind if it was cosmetic surgery to help people who have suffered from burns, accidents, that kind of thing.
You have to work with that. Like some somebody that had them kind of issues. I could understand that. But that's not what he's suggesting. That's not a avenue that he's pushing from the interview that I heard. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if other people hear, but I would like them to chime in on it still.
I've heard it as well, yeah.
I can't say too much right now because I find I've been targeted by some individuals and I ain't get paid for some projects yet. So I want to, bank it. And when you have our next program, I'll talk about some things. You get me? Yeah, because they're taking a piss, bro. I remember when, as you said, the money program was going on. And I remember having to have a situation with an employer at that time. I think he's with that side too. Mm-hmm. And he actually more or less tried to suggest that he was trying to pull, a pew on me. Mm-hmm. And I had to engage him in his office and go through a whole period before. Like, I say all that to say, Greens is a very loving place. Yeah, we're able to turn the other cheek on a lot of occasions. Yeah, we're very efficient when we need to be, and we're resilient as a people. Don't tell them people don't take us for clown fam. Mm-hmm. Because if you do on the next side, we'll go on the next side and take it, and we can go ask for it. I don't know. I'm not getting that. I seen like a whole change. It's like the government is, as I say, regentrifying. They're trying to regentrify the place. So it's like they buying up real estate. Mm-hmm. They put in their people in perspective.
Some places
I
too good for us,
too.
bro.
I saw this. Go ahead.
No, I say some places in their mind seems to be too good for us, poor people, children. We ain't supposed to live there.
Yes. So they want to allocate us to certain spots, so we could be controlled and monitored.
Build
I don't know if you might get some Optimus to come and look for us or something and protect us. You get me? You might get some of that Optimus thing to come true. So what I was going to point out though, I noticed that the Grenada Postal Co-op, they have something going on, and they're saying no more or less you could have a U.S. address. No, in terms of shipping and them kind of thing, but based on the information that I have or I preview too, I can see a lot of, iffy situations, sketchy situations coming up because of that. Yeah?
Yeah.
And if it is that the way you say the import-export thing is so easy for the system, how is it that we have so much complications in it?
Man, let's see how that develops, because I think I understand what they're trying to do. I know one or two other countries have tried that. I know there are some issues in relation to that. At the federal level in the United States, there are some issues in relation to that they need to be looked. You see, it's not simply you're doing something and you're doing it, especially when you mention in the U.S. Anytime you start to mention the U.S., you have laws on the state level, but you also have laws on the federal level. And you see what you might get away with at the state level, when it comes, you just cross the border, federal level, and you're in problems. So let it go ahead. Let it go ahead.
So yeah, I see some things coming up there with them. So Greens, stay fast, yeah. Pay attention to what's going on, because they're trying to trick us right in front of us. Actually, it's like a Truman Show, fam. They time fooling us, and it's not April Fool's yet.
Man, just admit you want to get your butt lift, So
Fadu, I swear, because I tell you, I need to get my things. So I really want to talk much about it yet, but
we go talk.
Yeah, I need to get from they doing some. You see the hive on them?
Mm-hmm.
You see them hive people there?
Yeah. I understand the vibes, man. Say less.
Say less. Yeah.
All right, bro. We're gonna talk again. 440. In fact, I'm gonna take some calls in a little while again. Let me just go on to our piece here, because I think this is the one that has been most topical. But I want you all to get it in the context of what was said, because in just pulling out that part, you're only getting part of the story. It's a lot worse. Yeah. So let's just hear this one.
I leave the airport to wherever I am, to where I come back. You've seen it on social media.
That's a lie, Mr. Prime Minister. We didn't know you're in Nigeria until journalist Linda Straker found pictures by an agency or a news agency in Nigeria. There was no note that you went Nigeria. You left Grenada, and from what was being said by the press release that was put out before, you were supposed to be going to Rwanda. Next thing, we hear that you don't go in Rwanda, because the press release was unceremoniously removed from the pages for whatever reason. If you don't go in, you don't go in. Leave the press release there. Just send out a follow-up press release, but they took it down from the page. And then journalist Linda Straker is the one that started to circulate the pictures of you in Nigeria. Nobody here, the general public, were not informed that you're going to Nigeria. Stop lie for us. When you're going in Dubai, we doesn't know, we just hear that you're in Dubai. So stop lie for us. We don't like it.
I leave the airport to wherever I am, to where I come back. You've seen it on social media, and you understand what it is I'm going to do. But I also want to...
Grenadians, is that true? All you know when the Prime Minister going and where he going and what he going to do? Anyway, let me hear the rest.
Deal with the reality. So that's the first thing. We are not traveling too much. And I will speak for myself, first of all. I'm the chairman of Carriacou.
Mr. Prime Minister, we're not traveling too much. You have government ministers that have spent close to 2 months out of this year so far out of the country. Close to 2 months. You are the Minister of Education. Go for 3 months. After a Category 4 hurricane, level Carriacou, mash up schools, people living in the schools, school had to reopen. The north of the island had damage to some schools, particularly MacDonald College. You had the issues with teachers not being paid. Yes, it extended to all back then. And the Minister of Education went on personal business for 3 weeks. And we're not traveling too much. The Minister of Health leave last time, gone for nearly a month, gone about the personal business. Personal business, not the state business. And you know the state of healthcare in Grenada right now. And you're not traveling too much. Your MP in St. John, the fishermen can't even see her. Well, I hear titivation, they go up there, they tell the fishermen come together in St. John, the fishermen go. thinking they go in and get money and thing. Next thing, after they bring all the fishermen together to get the video and the pictures of all the fishermen together and say, we have big meeting, then they start to tell them, only some are all you go in and get money, those who boat damage and so gain money. And as I mentioned, fishermen, what is going on with the fishermen in Petit Martinique? They're asking, where is the money? Show me the money. The fishermen, the trawlermen up there in Petit Martinique and Carriacou, they're asking. I get calls from them too. Where is the money? The government talking about they give us money, they lie. We have not seen the money. The boat there, we don't know what to do. With no money, we don't have the help. But you know what? They feel Petit Martinican people now. They feel Petit Martinican people have money. So they're doing all kind of thing, hoping that Petit Martinicans and them just go and do what they have to do and so. Yeah, on their own. And that the state don't have to give them nothing. But it's okay, don't worry. There is a CRIF coverage for the fishermen. Eh? So it's not like you're taking out your money and give them. The CRIF money was there for them. Right. But anyhow, let me go back to the Prime Minister.
Grenada is also a member of the OECS. Grenada is also a member of the United Nations. And we have to understand that we are an independent country. We are a state. I always say, it's either you're a country or you're not. And when you're a state, you have international and regional obligations legally binding that you have to commit to. And you have to represent your country. That's one. Two, the government's policy, save for those international and regional organizations and groups that we are part of. And therefore we must take part and support the activities, the conferences, the issues we need to discuss, most of which are there to support Grenada and to help us economically, socially, and otherwise. Let's say Carriacou, for example. I'm the chairman of Carriacou, which means I need to travel on Carriacou business. Do we see what's going on in Cuba? Do we see what's going on in Haiti? Do we not understand that there's something called diplomacy? And that you need to be able to lobby to help our brothers and sisters in Haiti, help our brothers and sisters in Cuba. That requires you to be there in person. Do we not see that when we had the Guyana, Venezuela challenge, that we had to travel to St. Vincent to help our brothers within the region ensure that things didn't escalate?
So, Mr. Prime Minister, okay, you're the chairperson of Carriacou. You became the chairperson of Carriacou in July of this year. You will demit office as the chairperson of Carriacou in about 6 weeks from now. It is not a permanent position. You did not go through an electoral process and people say, well, we like he and he's intelligent, we go in and make him the chairman of Carriacou. The mere fact that you're the Prime Minister of Grenada and it's Grenada's turn to hold the chairmanship of Carriacou is why you're holding it. I have never, and I follow politics closely for over 20-something years now, I have never in all my years involved in politics and following politics and so on, heard any prime minister regionally boasting the way that this prime minister is boasting about being chairman of Carriacou. Never. So I feel Dr. Mitchell wasn't chairman of Carriacou on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions he was the chairperson of Carriacou. You never used to hear him boasting all over the place, well, I'm the chairman of Carriacou, and due to that I've got to travel. But yet you hear this Prime Minister as the chairman of Carriacou, you know. So what will be your excuse in 6 weeks from now when you are removed as the chairman of Carriacou? Because, anyway, we're going to discuss another aspect of that just now. Just remember he said that he's the chairman of Carriacou. That is why he had to travel. So Guyana, Cuba, that is why he had to travel a lot because he's the chairman of Carriacou. Right? Let's hear him again.
So a job. That's why you travel. Second, Grenada is a dot in the globe with 100,000 people. If you are not at the table, if you're not in the conference room, if you're not in the hallways, nobody cares about you. So I want our citizens to understand that we're a dot. Don't get no ideas that somehow the big people think you matter. They don't think we matter. And if you are not there to fight and advocate and bring attention to your country, you can easily and you will get left behind. So as the Prime Minister of the country, it is my job to be the chief advocate for the beautiful trial state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And the only way to do that is to leverage me and the office of the...
The only way to do that is to leverage you? You see what I tell all you? I'll just hear, look a piece. The man saying he is the chief person to sell Grenada, so the way is to leverage him, to leverage you. So wait, don't leverage the rest of us in this country, just leveraging you. Don't leverage that we are peaceful, that we are intelligent people, that we are kind people, that our country is very peaceful. Don't leverage the fact that Grenada is beautiful, that we have an intelligent, youthful population, very capable, very culturally diverse. Don't leverage all of that, just leverage you. Well, we badly off. The only thing we could leverage when we are out there in them things, leverage he as Prime Minister, we badly off.
And the office of the Prime Minister to ensure that we can get investors, we can get people interested and talking about Grenada. So with all due respect to the Grenada Tourism Authority and all the advertising, I am the biggest seller of Grenada. So when I go to Nigeria, I'm representing Grenada.
Now let me take that from a little back here again, because I want to make sure we hear what we hear in demand.
You can easily and you will get left behind. So as the Prime Minister of the country, it is my job to be the chief advocate for the beautiful tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And the only way to do that is to leverage me and the office of the Prime Minister to ensure that we can get investors. We can leverage me and the office of the Prime Minister to ensure that we can leverage me and the office of the Prime Minister to leverage me and the office of the Prime Minister to ensure that we can get investors. We can get people interested and talking about Grenada. So with all due respect to the Grenada Tourism Authority and all the advertising, I am the biggest seller of Grenada. So when I go to Nigeria...
So he's the biggest seller of Grenada. Okay. Here's homework for you all. So the many listeners who are listening outside of Grenada right now, I am absolutely positive that, let's say you're in South Africa right now. Let's say you're in South Africa. There are listeners that listen from South Africa. You're in South Africa right now, and the name Grenada comes up. Once the name Grenada comes up, is it Deacon Mitchell you hear about? Or you hear about Kirani James, the 400 meter? And that's the name you just hear about? Once you say Grenada in those places, you hear about King Kirani James, the young man from Guave St. John on the Lansdowne Day. Yes, gun battle. You hear about him. You hear about Anderson Peters, the world javelin champion and Olympic medalist out of Grenada. That is who you hear about on the world stage. They are ambassadors of Grenada. And I'm positive if I go in Canada right now, or if I go in same Nigeria, or if I go in Ghana, or if I go in Australia or some part of Asia, and I say I'm from Grenada, I am nearly 100% sure that anybody that has heard Grenada ain't telling me about Deacon Mitchell. They're asking me about Kirani. They're asking me about Anderson. They're asking me about Kurt. Not Kurt, Lyndon Victor. That's the people they're asking me about. And you'll be very surprised in a lot of places they're asking you about Mr. Killer. That is who they know. Mr. Killer, the only non-Trinidadian to win the International Soca Monarch. Them Trini still vex up to now. They can't even have an International Soca Monarch again, first they vex. So you go throughout the Caribbean and you ask when you hear Grenada, oh, Mr. Killer. The older folks who are deep into politics and so, you may hear a mention of Maurice Bishop. It's a fact. People who were into politics or were into politics of left and right and so, who were socialists and who were Marxists and who were this and that, and you mention Grenada, the name Maurice Bishop comes up. If it's people who like UFO, Eric Gary comes up. If it's people that like beauty pageant and thing, Jennifer Houston, the first black woman to win, that comes up. Not Deacon Mitchell. No country you go, and the biggest selling point for Grenada is Deacon Mitchell. He fast, he out of place, and he disrespectful. Kirani James has more appeal, and the thing with Kirani, he's humble. He's not like the Prime Minister, arrogant. Kirani James is a humble individual. So he's a perfect ambassador for Grenada. That is why he is a sports ambassador for the island of Grenada. And remember, we are investment ambassador, all kind of thing that this same prime minister put in place by saying he's the one. Well, let me hear him.
I'm representing Grenada. Nigerians who never heard of Grenada would have heard of me as the prime minister. They would have recognized that.
You mean some that you meet right now? You ain't talking about those that just follow sports and all kind of thing. But go ahead.
I met with Pamps, one of the most, if not the most influential person, not just in Nigeria, in Africa, in the black world. And the attention that has brought to Grenada is what you will see following therefrom. So when people brag and talk about, I think many years ago, before an election campaign, I heard someone talking about they have $100 million lined up for investment and so on that never materialized. We don't brag and talk. We'll bring the investment. We'll bring the support. We'll bring the charity. We'll bring the help. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I started
by the way, the $100 million they're talking about is the same tourism projects like Intercontinental and Livera and so on that you're talking about. So just correct that next time you're on the air because you're talking stupidness again. But anyhow.
Together with members of the community, a little cricket academy that we have in Laura, which we started in the summer, and we continue every Saturday. The children, the primary school children, primary school boys and girls, from St. Dominic's, from Corinth, from St. Teresa's, come down to Laura to learn how to play hardball cricket, real cricket, with 2 coaches. They get refreshments. They get cricket kits. We get a bus and hire, pick them up and bring them there. In speaking to Mr. Dangote and in explaining what we're doing, he doesn't know anything about cricket. They don't play cricket in Nigeria. He's agreed. He then and there called the owners of an Indian Premier League team, who incidentally also owns a team in the CPL and a team in the Bangladesh League, and say, I want 1,000 cricket kits for these kids. They are being manufactured. They would be delivered to Grenada. That is why we travel. We are launching between now and December.
So we just travel for cricket kits. Oh, okay. All right, we just travel for cricket kits. All right, nice. Yeah, just now, I'm finishing this and then we'll take some calls. Sorry, yeah? Yeah, so we just travel. I say if I had to stay 5 minutes extra, I'll do it. Yeah, so we traveling for cricket kits and them kind of thing. All right, okay, nice, good. Go right ahead. So far, we've heard of absolutely no new projects. None. No tourism projects, no factories, no nothing. No new projects, no new investment. But 1,000 cricket thing. Go ahead, Mr. Prime Minister.
A cyber security course where the government will pay 7,500 Canadian dollars to train at least 100 Grenadians in cyber security. That's 20,000 EC a pop. Do you know how that came about? That came about from me traveling to Canada in February to mark our 50th anniversary of independence at a diaspora event in Canada, where the Minister for International Development from Canada attended and met with me. And we started talking about how can we partner. And that partnership led to me being introduced to a black female entrepreneur.
Now, let me tell you all something in relation to this particular story here. The Prime Minister is speaking about doing training with young people in relation to this. There is a company in Grenada located upstairs where Bobby Starmat was on H.A. Blaze Street that early, and I'm talking about as early as within the first month of the NDC administration, approached this same Prime Minister to do that training here in Grenada. In fact, they have done that training over the years. I'm trying to remember the exact name that they call them right now. They do training for young people in things like coding, the Grenada Coding Academy. So they do coding and so on. That same coding academy approached this Prime Minister and his government. They were supposed to be teaching coding in every secondary school on the island right now, and also doing coding courses. By now, you should have already turned out about close to 1,000 young people between when they were speaking and the arrangements were put in place. By now, you should have turned out 1,000 young people as coders. Now, when you're doing coding, You could make as much as a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. It depends on how long you want to work, how much you want to do. Yeah? The baseline in those things could be as much as 2,000, 3,000 US, we're speaking here, 2,000, 3,000 US for coding. The course itself at the Coding Academy is available up to today, as far as I know. I haven't spoken to them in a while, but the course is available. They approached the government here to do it. Have you seen it develop? Have you seen it coming out, anything like that? No. But now you're talking about he go in Canada and he get that for Grenada. When Grenadians, because the company here, the same Coding Academy, they have connections. They have connections with various agencies. So they teach you how to do coding, and then you are guaranteed a job. The same thing the Prime Minister is saying there now, available since 2022. They provide you with a job. Once you've completed the coding course, they can provide you with a job to do coding for people. You just have to be disciplined to ensure that you're going to sit down and do what you're supposed to do within the space of time. Yeah? So don't make him let you feel like you do something special there. That has been available in Grenada, but due to the incompetence of him and his administration, they have not been able to get it off the ground. I think 1 or 2 schools may have the coding taking place, but it was supposed to be an island-wide thing. And up to now, joke Jody, nothing. But anyhow, let me go down the road.
And they are certified. They will find employment for these young people, where the starting salaries are 2,000 and 3,000.
Don't take my word for it. Call the Coding Academy. They could verify everything I just say.
Canadian dollars a month. You know what the minimum wage in Grenada is? It's $1,200, give or take. We are starting a 5 to 6 month training period once you're certified, where you can start to work. In Grenada, you don't have to leave the country once you have a laptop and high-speed internet. So that is the kind of things we do. And that is why...
No, that's the kind of things you don't do, because the Caribbean, not Grenada, the Caribbean Coding Academy has been offering that to you since then. Yeah? But up to now, Joke Jody.
You have to travel. Because if you do not, you will not get foreign direct investment into this country. Nobody will know where Grenada is. Nobody will want to invest here. Nobody will want to travel or come here. Do you know the Chobani brand yogurt? They sell it at real value. I met the founder and owner of that company while in New York. We talked about how can we partner. They do a lot of retreats. These are companies that employ thousands of people. Multi-million, billion-dollar companies. They do their management leadership retreats. They look for places. We said to their staff, come to Grenada. We have hotels, we have the conference facilities, etc. Those are the things we are working on so that we can actually promote and sell Grenada and help to bring business here. That is why people need to travel. So we need to understand, do you think if we were not good members of Carriacou, supportive of our brothers and sisters, actively involved, that the kind of solidarity and response that we got post-burial will happen?
Okay. In fact, you know what? Let's hear that question again. Let's hear that question again.
We have hotels, we have the conference facilities, etc. Those are the things we are working on so that we can actually promote and sell Grenada and help to bring business here. That is why people need to travel. So we need to understand, do you think if we were not good members of Carriacou, supportive of our brothers and sisters, actively involved, that the kind of solidarity and response that we got post-burial will happen? Do you think if I never attended Carriacou meetings, I was never there because I didn't want to go to St. Kitts, or I don't want to go to the Bahamas, or I don't want to go to Belize or Trinidad, that the first people to land there would have been RSS soldiers from Barbados or Antigua or else?
Let me make something clear here. The assistance that we got from other countries have nothing to do with Deacon and Miss Mitchell and the NDC administration. Let me repeat it. The assistance that the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique and the north of the island have received since Hurricane Beryl have nothing to do with Deacon and Miss Mitchell and the NDC administration. So you're talking nonsense. We have family ties to other Caribbean countries. You think Trinidad go sit down there? No matter who in power in Grenada, and see a hurricane pass and Trinidadians wouldn't send stuff to help or send people to help? After Hurricane Ivan, there's an organization in Trinidad called the Rose Foundation. I can tell you that because I was directly involved with them when they came. Some roads weren't even cleared yet. And these individuals, they made sure they contacted all the different agencies in from the credit unions to the telecom companies, everybody. And they got to assist Grenada to help us. That is how Grenada was able to rebuild so fast after Hurricane Ivan. They were the people that got the swim call CPEP people to come here to help with the cleanup. Yeah? They were the people. I remember going around with deceased Denzel Modest on a bus around town. He had the manager of the water company of Trinidad at the time. He asked me where Birch Grove because he mother from there. You had the person in charge of the electricity company ask me if we're going up to St. John because he grandfather from there. You had the people from the credit union. You had other people asking where Bolio did, and you're surprised now, these bunch of Trinidadians, and they're asking you where these places, only to realize nearly to a man, all of these people and them had Grenadian roots. I'll use myself as an example. I have Bajan roots, I have Vincentian roots, born in Trinidad, of a father from Carriacou and a mother from Grenada. So you telling me that there are not other people here, that is only because of Deacon Mitchell that Trinidad helped? Only because of Deacon Mitchell that Barbados helped? Only because of him that Dominica and St. Lucia and them? No. We have direct family ties with these people. They're no joke thing. Listen to the names. Listen to the people who are here. We have cousins. We have aunts and uncles in all the other countries, and they have family here too. So it had nothing to do with he. Carriacou is Carriacou. Any Carriacou country something happened to, whether you attending meeting, you don't attending meeting, they are going to come forward and help. It has nothing to do with the Prime Minister. Nothing to do with him. And he talking about the RSS. He forget what the RSS is. It's the regional security system. Their job is to go into any territory that there is this sort of natural disaster or there is a threat to national security. The job, the reason you have the RSS is to do that. It have nothing to do with Deacon Mitchell. Nothing. But you see, when you're so arrogant and you're so into yourself, you wouldn't know about these things. If he had participated in the rebuilding of Grenada, like I did, after Hurricane Ivan, he would have known of the Rose Foundation and Mr. Belgrove and all the people that were involved in that. But he wouldn't know because he was not involved. Yeah? He wouldn't know about that. You understand? But before we go, as I say, I'm going to stay additional 5 minutes. I'll take a one or two quick calls, but I just wanted to play one more thing quickly before I leave. One more thing I wanted to play quickly before.
But you're being chairman of CARICOM, that in and of itself necessitates travel. It necessitates travel within CARICOM and it necessitates travel outside of CARICOM. The CARICOM Secretariat is based in Guyana. I don't need to talk about the tremendous response that CARICOM has given to Grenada as a result of Hurricane Beryl. And so that in and of itself tells us the benefits of regionalism, of international solidarity. The people who are coming to Grenada are coming because of their interaction with the government, with ministers, with the Prime Minister. If you don't have that...
The people are not coming to Grenada because of any interaction with you as Prime Minister and Minister. Stop talking stupidness. Yeah? So you think my family and other families in Trinidad and so that send stuff up, and families in Barbados and thing, you think it has anything to do? It has nothing to do with you. They see a serious situation, it touched them emotionally, and they believe that they have to help. Well, because of you. Come on, get real.
Interaction, you don't have that relationship. People are not going to help you. It's as simple as that. President Ali would not have sent 50 Guyanese Defense Force officers here to provide security and to rebuild Carriacou if I did not have a relationship with him.
Nonsense. After Hurricane Ivan, the Guyanese sent a force of soldiers over here to help with security and also to help with rebuilding. So it had nothing to do with you. That's Guyana. It have a lot of Grenadians with Guyana family and Guyanese connections, a lot of Guyanese living here in Grenada. It had nothing to do with you. Nothing. N-O. Nothing. Come on, man. Seriously.
if I was not making good on my commitments to regional integration, to regional fraternity and camaraderie that we need. So people have to understand that this is about relationship building. If people don't know you, if they don't like you, if you are disagreeable, if you are miserable, if you're unkind or unhelpful, they will not help you and they will not help your country. So
that is absolute nonsense. I've known Prime Minister Dr. Mitchell to disagree with Prime Minister Rav Gonsalves on several things. But let me tell you, when something happened, two of them is the first two people calling each other, boy, you ain't see what happened in St. Lucia, we need to go there. You ain't see what happened in St. we need to talk to that man. The same two people who you might hear back and forth every now and again. So it don't mean that because you and a person mightn't be going down, that they wouldn't get together to solve something. Stop that shoppiness, Mr. Prime Minister. Stop trying to spin that story. Yeah? Absolute unequivocal nonsense. And this is him this morning, eh? Folks, just now, let me just finish this piece and we'll take the calls, yeah.
Prime Minister, I am in a sense the relationship builder in chief with the regional and international community to make sure that people can support Grenada. And I don't need to count the countless grants and pledges that we got from Carriacou by the millions. Both in
That's nothing new. We get that during Ivan too, so.
In terms of actual support, in terms of security support. Let me give an example. For me to get to Carriacou and PT Martinique after the hurricane, our Coast Guard couldn't take me there because the seas were too rough.
It could have taken you, just coward, but anyway. Me too, I don't like boat. Just admit that, yeah.
There compliments the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, who sent a helicopter to take me there. So people have to understand that. That's first and foremost. And I want to make the point. Hurricane Beryl hit Grenada on the 1st of July. I did not leave Grenada until September, save for one trip to Guyana, again to thank the President of Guyana and to support the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Grenada Chamber of Commerce business mission to Guyana to encourage greater trade between Guyana and Grenada. There are Grenadian businessmen and women who are attempting to export their goods to Guyana. They have logistical issues. And I will give you one example. There's a young, I'm going to use the word young.
Folks are quickly running out of time and I see it's 10 o'clock again. So I've got to cut that one day. But basically, the Prime Minister yesterday was saying he had to do a lot of traveling because he's the chairman of Carriacou. This morning, the Prime Minister was saying that he only went out twice between the hurricane and September. Twice. He went Guyana and he went St. Vincent. The same, he had to travel a lot because he's the chairman of Carriacou. And remember, he became the chairman of Carriacou in July, August, September. He traveled twice in that time. Let's go to the, oh boy, it's cut off. Yeah, taking the calls now. We had to take the calls. You have to make it brief. Gonna take some calls right now before we head on out of here for tonight, yeah? So if you're calling, you've got to call now. Nice? Yeah, because other than that, I've got to run, yeah? Nice. I'm taking a chance tonight, eh?
40 years we going strong and getting stronger. It's a celebration.
So when he's talking about he's the Prime Minister is not the reason all of that. I don't know where you're getting that from. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night. Good night, Mr. Scott. I feel people travel to Grenada because of the work of the last administration, and they did a great job to promote Grenada. The Prime Minister doing like he don't have a Minister of Tourism. Everything is about he. In the campaigning is about he. Now he's Prime Minister is about he and he and he and he. He doing like if he owned Grenada, like he alone promoting Grenada. But I think the reason why people are traveling to Grenada because of the good work the last administration did for the country.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. As I say, you got to call me now. I'm staying for a couple minutes extra just to take the calls. Yeah, just taking. Let me go to the phone line. Hello, good night. Hello. Hello, good night. Hello. Hello. Okay, it seems as though we lost that call. 440-7377, 347-329-3101 and 44. Let's go back to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hey.
Calling from the North Next State as usual.
Yes, sir. And we had to make it brief, so quickly.
Yes. I hope this guy interview was local and not international, because this guy is going to embarrass himself. They've been playing cricket in Nigeria since 1960, okay? And I hope he has a smartphone to put the phone on speaker and talk to the phone and ask the phone when cricket was played. If he's that dumb, he didn't do his research. We have phones now, you don't have to even go in the book. Just hit the speaker button and say, when was the first time cricket played in Nigeria? And he's going to see since 1960. So I don't know where he's talking that garbage. Nigerians don't know about cricket.
All right, my brother. 440-7377-347-329-3101. I'm going to take 4 more calls. 4 more calls before I run out tonight. Remember, tomorrow night, that meeting is taking place from 6:30 p.m. out there in Montjalou. Yes, so looking forward to hearing and seeing you all out there. 6:30 tomorrow. So we will be broadcasting that. I will not be in studio tomorrow night. So that's why I'm taking the additional couple minutes and take your calls now. So if you're calling, you got to call now. If you're calling, you got to call no. Right? I know it does take a couple seconds, sometimes 30 seconds, a minute for some people to get the message. That's why I'm talking still and I'm taking it nice. You got to call now.
It's a celebration, we love it. If you tell looking real bright, and we moving on just right.
Yes, indeed.
It's a celebration, we love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party and we know it.
And I know about the security situation. Listen, I used to go around with the Trinidadian soldiers too. Especially when you're going to collect the payments. They were based down at Grand Beach. I could tell you that. Where Radisson is now, they were based down there. I used to go down there and meet them together with the CPEP people to go to the bank and get the money so that you could pay the CPEP workers and different things like that. So they ain't telling me about these things. After Hurricane Ivan, I know it for a fact, but the Prime Minister wouldn't know because he wasn't interested in nation building and restoring the country at that point in time. He wasn't interested in them thing. Yeah? So he wasn't interested at that point in time. That's why he go make these statements like RSS come. RSS ain't come because of you. As a Prime Minister, you could make a special request for them at a point in time that they may not have already made the decision. So you could invite. But the RSS goes to every country. The RSS goes there when there's these sort of things taking place. Yeah? We have a call online. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night, my dear. Go right ahead, but you have to make it quick.
You see, I interview with me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. I don't hear the man call one minister name that do anything that go anywhere for that purpose. What Karen James was traveling for?
Well, he did say that he's focusing on his travel, on him. But even though he focused on him, he still said us nonsense. All right.
Grenada belongs to Dick Mitchell now. I wanted to big up Anne-Marie Celestine in New York for me, please, and tell her my last couple of days I'll be back home in a couple of days' time.
Okay, my dear. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, 2 more calls. Taking 2 more calls. Quick. 2 more calls. All you have to call now. 2 more calls. All you had to call now. And I see the phone was ringing just now. As soon as I say that, phone gone off. 2 more calls because I have a transport waiting outside for me. I had to go. So I need to take 2 more calls right about now. Yeah? Yes. Mm-hmm. And let me see. Hello, good night.
Hello, Mr. Scott. Good night. I know you're running out of time.
Yeah. So you have to make it quick.
I just wanted to strike when he talks about Guyana and Guyana president, but he failed to realize that during Ivan, Guyana sent up contracting brigades up here with material going around the country building houses for Grenadian people.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know because as I said, I worked along with these different groups, so I know for a fact.
They sent up material and they sent up the brigade, which they pay for the labor.
Mm-hmm.
Do his research.
And Venezuela did the same too.
Yes.
That is how you got the La Colombe.
Yes.
It's the Venezuelan military that came and built that, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of structures were standing after Ivan here was built by Guyanese, which the government had sent to build the houses, and they paid the labor cost.
Mm-hmm. All right, my brother. Thank you so very much. All right. Folks, that's it for Talking Points. Yeah, I can't take no more. I had to go. I had to transport waiting on me. I must go. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you in everything you say and do. Do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you. Remember, tomorrow from 6:30 p.m. we shall be broadcasting the meeting that's due to take place at the Monjalo RC School, and then we have the Friday night forum. Even though it's a holiday, we have the Friday night forum this week. So I will be in studio, God's willing, on Friday night as well. Folks, stay safe. I am out.
40 years we going strong.
The New National Party New York chapter presents to Grenadians living in this part of the diaspora the biggest town hall meeting ever in New York. You are invited to attend as the headliners in Grenadian politics brings you the message from Grenada. From St. Andrew Northeast, come and hear youthful and vibrant Kate Lewis.
This new national party offers insurance and security of continuity.
St. Andrew Southeast will send you a message through Sister Emlyn Pear.
Brothers and sisters, nothing will stop this party.
Peter David will speak to you with the voice of the town of St. George.
Because if you do not have a vision, you will perish.
The people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique will lay out their struggles through the voice of the powerful Norland Cox.
Brothers and sisters, we are very grateful for the support of the National Party.
Dwight Hosford will address and answer all the legal issues.
In these times, we are seeing a lot of strange things.
Political leader of the New National Party, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, will address you as the party gears up for its 40th anniversary celebration.
And look at the numbers of you here. Look at you here, sisters and brothers. You know why you are here? Because you believe in the New National Party and you believe in the development of this beautiful country of ours.
So, Grenadians, gather on Sunday, the 27th of October at the Nazareth Regional High School, 475 E 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11203, between Clarendon Road and Ditmas Avenue. The meeting starts at 5 p.m. See you as we gather to rescue Grenada 2.0.